So in the previous session, we have discussed about Lightning Data Services, and we have discussed what exactly Lightning Data Services and what we can do with the help of Lightning Data Services, and how can we interact with the Salesforce objects by using Lightning Data Services. We have discussed, and there we have discussed about the farm-based interaction. That means without writing any piece of code, without using any Apex programming, just with the help of built-in Lightning Web Components, we can interact with your Salesforce objects to perform DML operations by using Lightning Record Form, Lightning Record View Form, and the Lightning Record Edit Form. By using these three built-in components, we are able to interact with your Salesforce objects, and then we can able to perform the required operations. Now, so now today we'll see how can we interact with your Salesforce objects by using JavaScript programming. With the help of this JavaScript, how can we interact with your Salesforce objects without using Apex programming? We'll see with the practical. Now, so in the case, we are going to be using the help of a built-in library called as User Interface API, that is also called as UiRecordApi. UiRecordApi. Now, then what exactly it indicates, what kind of methods that we have in this UiRecordApi to interact with your Salesforce objects through programming, we'll see one by one. Now, let's see. How can we do that? Now, let me explain. So basically, UiRecordApi is a built-in JavaScript library. It's a built-in JavaScript library which is purely built upon JavaScript. By using JavaScript programming, they have prepared a collection of built-in methods that is called as a library. Library means a group of built-in methods, which has been developed by using JavaScript. So by using this built-in JavaScript libraries, we can interact with your Salesforce objects. By using this built-in JavaScript libraries, we can interact with the Salesforce objects and we can perform the required DML operations. So previously to do these DML operations, we are using the help of Apex programming. In Apex programming, we have used okay, we have used DML statements, we have used SOQL queries. But now, so now here in this case, without using any Apex programming code, without using any DML statements and SOQL queries, without using any server-side controller, just by using JavaScript itself, we can do all these operations. So by using this built-in JavaScript libraries, we can interact with your Salesforce objects and we can perform all the DML operations as well. Now, so in that case, JavaScript provides a library called as UiRecordApi. It provides a library, it's a built-in library called as UiRecordApi, so which contains a collection of built-in functions. It contains a collection of built-in functions which can be used to perform the DML operations on your Salesforce object records. So instead of using Apex programming, through JavaScript itself, we can perform the DML operations. So that here, as part of this UiRecordApi, we are having four methods are available which can be used to interact with your Salesforce objects. We have getRecord method, createRecord method, updateRecord method, and deleteRecord method. So these are the four methods: getRecord, createRecord, updateRecord, and the deleteRecord. These are the four methods are available here. GetRecord method, createRecord method, updateRecord method, deleteRecord method. These are the four methods are available here. In the case, whenever we are going to be using these methods, we have to import this UiRecordApi library into your JavaScript file. So by using these methods, we have to import the UiRecordApi namespace inside that Lightning Web component inside the JavaScript file by using import statement. So which method you would like to use, we have to specify that method details over here. Now, in that case, we have to import that respect to UiRecordApi library method inside your JavaScript file. Then how can we import? Okay, we'll see one by one here. And then we'll see how can we create the records, how to modify the records, how to delete the records, everything we'll see one by one. Now, let's see in this case, how can we do that? Let me give the note point. By using built-in JavaScript libraries, we can interact with the Salesforce objects and we can perform the required DML operations. JavaScript provides a built-in library. JavaScript provides a built-in library called as UiRecordApi, which contains a collection of built-in methods to perform the operations on the Salesforce object records. We have the below 4 methods in UiRecordApi to perform the DML operations. First one, get record. Second one, create record. Third one, update record. Fourth one, delete record. Now, in this case, so while using these methods, we have to import the UiRecordApi namespace inside the Lightning Web component in the JavaScript file by using import statement. Syntax. Import, we can specify the method name. From, we can specify lightning/UiRecordApi. Okay, so now import, we can specify the method name, which method you would like to import, get a record, create record, update record, delete record, and multiple, or what. We can specify the method name from lightning/UiRecordApi. Now, for example, if you want to import the get record method, then we can specify import get a record from lightning/UiRecordApi. If you want to import create record method, then we can specify import create record from Lightning UiRecordApi. Suppose instead of writing these two statements separately, we can combine them into single also. How we can specify? Import get a record, comma create record, comma create record, comma delete record from Lightning UiRecordApi. Like that, here we need to import. So we can able to use either one method or multiple methods. If you are using one method, just you can import that particular method functionality here. If you are referencing multiple methods, we can use that single import statement. By using the single import statement, we can import multiple methods also from this UiRecordApi. So this is the prerequisite step. So that already we know this step is not new. During track decorator also we have used API decorator also, while decorator also, and then you are having the toast messages also during the time show toast event. We have imported our custom class methods also. All these things we have used during the import statement. Now, so here also we are going to be using the built-in JavaScript methods. Now, then how can we do that? See,
sir, excuse me. Sir, yes. UI full form?
User interface.
User interface. Okay, sir. Thank you.
User interface. What I have given this information? User interface API, that is called as UiRecordApi. Okay. Now, so now here in this case, how can we do that? We can now let me show you with the practical things. How to create the records. Okay, let me explain. Because these requires a bit lengthy mechanism. These are the lengthy codes over here which we need to write. Now let's see. How can we do that here? We'll see one by one. First one, creating new records. Creating new records. That means create record method. How to create the new records inside the object here. Okay, let's see. So basically, by using this create record method. So these are the 4 methods we have discussed, but all the methods are not required. So now I will show you create method and the get method. Remaining 2 not required here because these requires lengthy coding. Now, when you go to this example, then you can understand. Now, so now create record method. So what is this create record method? By using this method, we can insert a new record inside your Salesforce object without using any Apex controller, without using any server-side controller, just with the help of client-side controller, just with the help of some JavaScript code, we can able to create some new records inside the object. That means, okay, with the help of this ready-made JavaScript function, we can insert a new record inside your object here, which can be referencing from UiRecordApi. Now, so now here in this case here, we are going to be inserting some new record inside your object through this JavaScript method, create record API, so create record method from UI record API. Now, here you can raise a question. Sir, upon inserting the record inside the object, do we need to pass a value for all the mandatory fields? Yes, of course. It's common. You may be inserting the record in any manner also, through page layouts also, Apex programming also, data loader also, import wizard also, or it may be any mechanism also here. Upon inserting the record, compulsorily we have to pass a value for all the mandatory fields. Suppose if you are not passing the value for any of the mandatory field in the record cannot be inserted. That's common. So here also, while inserting the record inside the object, we have to supply the values for all the required fields. Now, so now here in this case here, whenever we are using this create record method, then we have to import that module. Okay, we have to import that module, okay, UI record API, okay, inside that JavaScript file. So while using create record method inside your component, okay, we have to import the module inside the component by using JavaScript file. Just now I showed you here how can we import it here by using import statement. Now, in that case here, once a method has been imported, then you will use this method, right? Yes. Why? To create the records. Whenever we are calling this method to create some new record, then record will be processed. If the record has been processed successfully, then it returns the result. It will return the result. Suppose if the record insertion has been failed, it will show some error messages here. So in that case, whatever the success messages written by this method, that will be storing inside the result property. And then if it is having any issues, it will show that error message. Then based on that result written by this method, we can represent the confirmation notification onto your Lightning component by using post messages. So once operations has been done, depends upon the operation result. It may be success, it may be errors. Then we need to represent the result on the Lightning web component, okay, with the help of post notifications. By using this post messages, we can show that corresponding confirmation messages also over here. Now, then how can we do that here? How to perform these operations by using this create record method? Okay, let me explain. So how to create a new record inside the object through JavaScript without writing any Apex programming code, without using any DML statements, without using any SOQL queries, how to connect with our Salesforce objects through programmatically, we'll see one by one now. Now, let me give the note points first, then I will show you the practical use case. First one. By using this method, we can insert a new record inside the object without using any Apex controller. That is, by using ready-made JavaScript functions, we can insert a new record inside the object, which can be referenced from UiRecord API. While inserting the new records inside the object, we have to supply the values for all the required fields. Now, while using create record method inside the component, then we have to import the module inside the component by using import statement. Syntax. Import create record from Lightning UiRecord API. Now, upon invoking the method, it will return the results. It will return the result. If the record inserted successfully, if the record inserted successfully, then it returns a result. Else it returns error. Based on the result written by the method, we can represent the confirmation messages to the users by using post notifications. Now, then how can we do that? Okay, now let's see. So first of all, we have to design the user interface. First of all, we have to design the user interface first by placing the required input controls. By using this collecting input, we can able to place all the fields over here and then enter the data. What are the data that we have entered? Those data we need to collect into your JavaScript properties. From there, we can able to insert the record inside your object fields. So we have to do that mapping. Which data, that means which value should store in which field, we have to do that mapping here through JavaScript. How can we do that? Now let me explain. Let's see. Design a Lightning Web Component to insert a new account record inside the object by using UiRecordApi and represent confirmation message, the record operation successfully. Once a record has been inserted successfully, I would like to show the confirmation message here. Now, in that case, we need to design the user interface first. Because in order to create the account record, we need to pass so many values, right? Yes. So I would like to place those input text boxes on my Lightning Web component. On my Lightning Web component, we need to place those input text boxes to enter the account name, to enter the rating value, industry, annual revenue, phone and the fax, and the website, billing address information, customer priority, active status, everything. Now, we need to prepare the text boxes where the user has to enter the values. Now let's see, how can we do that? Now, create account record API component. Create account record API component. Now, let's see. I'm going to the template file now. Here I'm using a lightning card. I'm using a lightning card. In this lightning card, I would like to place all the text boxes. Div tag, lightning card, title equals to new account record, standard account. Now I'm placing the text boxes one by one. Lightning input, label equals to enter account name. Name equals to a name, that means account name. Required equals to true. Lightning input, label equals to enter the rating. Or simply we can specify account rating, a rating. Next one, industry. Next one, annual revenue. I'm entering website name. Next one. And then billing state. Now, billing state. Billing state, city, state, country. Zip code. Customer priority. Active status. These are the various text boxes I would like to place are my Lightning Web component, which is used to supply the input values for the fields. Now, just give me a minute, I will be back. In this, let's see. We have placed the required user interface controls. We have placed the required user interface controls in order to supply the input values to create a new record inside your object through JavaScript. Now, next, what needs to be done? Whatever the value we have entered, this value I would like to place into my JavaScript properties. So these are the text boxes. In each text box, we are entering some value like name, rating, industry, annual revenue, account number, type, and the phone and the fax numbers like that. I will place all the text boxes. I will enter some details of a record. Once the details has been entered, then I would like to collect these values. Then into we need to store into my JavaScript properties. So let me define the corresponding JavaScript properties. After this type and ownership, let me place two more. Contact number, phone, fax number. Now, these are the fields. So now once the data has been entered, this data we need to collect into JavaScript properties. So we have to define JavaScript properties, which will be tag decorated properties. Now let's go to the JavaScript file. I'm defining the properties. To store the account record name at the rate track ACC name, we are using track namespace over here. Now to store the account record name, one separate property here. Like that for the remaining values also, we need to define separate properties. Now I'm defining the property ACC rating value, ACC industry, ACC annual revenue, ACC type, ACC ownership, ACC phone, ACC fax, ACC account number, ACC website, ACC billing street, billing city, billing state, billing country, billing postal code, SLA, customer priority, active status. These are the various properties that I have defined because whatever the input values we have entered over there, those values I would like to collect, I want to store inside my JavaScript properties. For that one, I'm defining these properties over here. Now, let's see. Now, in this case, what needs to be done? Whatever the data we have entered in these text boxes, those values I would like to store into my properties. For that one, we have to use unChange event. By using this unChange event, we need to pass the values. Now, so now we need to store these values into my JavaScript properties. How? For that one, we need to write that unChange event. UnChange equals to, we need to write that method. For every property, we have to write that method. That is the problem here. It will take more time. It will be killing your time also here in this place. Now, let's see in this case, how can we do that? I would like to use this unChange event here. In that unChange, I would like to collect the latest value I want to store into my JavaScript property. Now here I would like to specify handle name change. Whenever we are changing this name value here, I would like to collect this value. I want to store into my JavaScript property. So I'm preparing a method. Now this dot ACC name equals to, I would like to specify event dot target dot value, event dot target dot value here. So whatever the event that we have implemented here, whatever the event that we have implemented, that means whenever we are going to be changing these values over here. If I'm changing the name field value, that automatically the value will be getting reflected. It will collect the latest value, it will be stored into my property. Then if I'm changing the rating value, it will be populating that like that. Now, if I'm changing the value of the industry, then also I would like to specify handle industry change. These methods will be preparing automatically. We no need to do that here. Next, annual revenue. Handle annual revenue change. If I'm changing the annual revenue value, it will collect over here. Next, after that, type. Whenever we are changing the type field value, it will be collecting over here. Phone number value. And then fax number value. And then account number value. And then website value. And then billing street. And then billing city. And then billing state. And then billing country. And then billing postal code. And then SLA. And then customer priority. And then we are having active status. Now anything is missing here. Ownership value may be missing. Now ownership. Have we defined this property here? ACC ownership. After the type, I would like to have this ACC ownership. Now I would like to indicate this. Now I would like to include that unchanged value for this particular rating here. Now let's see. Unchanged equals to handle rating change. This is the method. Rating change. Then handle industry change. Unchanged equals to industry change. Handle annual revenue change. Account number. Number. Unchanged. This will be type. Ownership. Contact number. Phone number. Fax number. Handle not the account number. This is what? Website. Unchanged equals to billing street. Billing city. Billing state. Billing country.